I'm confused. And they all got washed away. So now we're down to this one tiny island that
do you think it's
real, but it's not nearly as obvious or understandable as all the fake islands were.
Yeah.
Do you think it's also possible that their ability to chart and navigate those islands was much more successful than yours, and the reason why you only have one island is because you're significantly less adept of a navigator than they are?
Absolutely.
I think maybe they do have those islands. Like,
Yeah,
they have those islands, but my world is only comprised of this island.
They see the islands. We just see that they're possibly out there.
it's like I can accept that they might have those islands, but that don't seem to.
And now here's the kicker.
Like and they all sunk, and they go, "No, this is the old island."
Here's the kicker, though. Here's the kicker. You know how you have those blackouts where you wake up on the island? Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
People keep getting pissed at you because when you black out, you keep going to their islands and fucking shit up. But when you're conscious, you never remember going to their island.
We like get drunk as shit and go to the other people's islands.
Yeah, you go to other people's islands.
Like you go on vacation.
You're never conscious.
That's so true.
Probably true.
Go to other people's islands.
I want to
shit up.
experience this island, so.
It's like we're totally, I respect your island, and then all of a sudden I get drunk and just go over there and fuck everything up. My bad. You can clean it up. You're used to that. Fuck it.
I kind of view mine as like factories that need to operate in a particular way, and I just black out, go to different factories, and
That's crazy.
Just fuck shit up. Just like throw stuff into the conveyor belts, and people are like, "You can't fucking walk over there." God damn.
See, I don't see how it could even be a factory. Like that's really too intricate. And
I don't understand that framework.
That's amazing. I see it as like comparing it to like, I don't know, understanding that there are planets out there, and then actually looking through the telescope and seeing the planets. You know, like. In that sense, or going to the planets if you're an astronaut, definitely.
Yeah. Let me relate it this way. That telescope thing I was using for NI earlier, I'm going to use this again for the polar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for the polar, it's like, hey, look through this telescope here, like talk about like FI polar. Look through this telescope and look at all these planets, and then you just standing there and saying, I have a phobia of telescopes. I can't.
I don't want to look through that one. I get they're out there, yeah, for sure.
Like, except the planets exist, but I don't want to look through the. Yeah, but I have a phobia of telescopes, so I won't.
I think I hit on gold there, though. It's like you blacking out, going to other people's islands, fucking with shit.
Yeah. It makes me feel so bad about it in a way. I think about that a lot. ETPs, I think a lot of them have like that understanding afterward of what they did. Like, oh shit, I wrecked all that fucking shit up.
Yeah, you're never conscious of what the islands are, but when you wake up on that one island, you realize that there's fires off in the distance.
Yeah, you're just like, holy shit, that's a lot of smoke.
And then you keep hearing.
Was that me?
Because we started with our own islands and we like stabbed them and they sunk, and you're like, oh, that wasn't a real island.
Yeah,
and so we did other people's islands too, and they're like, no, this is a real island. No way.
Burn them all. Just burn all the islands. We get drunk in a rant and say all these islands aren't real.
Natural selection.
Mm-hmm. This island is real. It won't burn.
Yeah, we're like, we know we're setting on fire, but if it's real, you'll be fine.
Right, exactly.
I think it's funny the difference though. It's like I could see how like for the FI polar they might look at like Loki just said, like natural selection. You might like have the mindset that it's like these fucking people using inter-X type of intelligence. Like let's say it's like the ENTPs looking at the FI people. It's like they just need to evolve past this stupid shit. Whereas like those people viewing the person who's stepping on all of that.
That's
shit.
just me kidding, though. That's me joking. I prefer people having lots of emotions because then it's easier to, get what I want.
I know what you're gonna say.
It's like for the people using or like who have more of a value on those emotions, like viewing that like that sort of mindset towards them. You're basically seeing, I'm finishing my sentence, sir. You sort of get the image of a rabid dog that you have to put down because they can't be reasoned with in that way.
Look up Marcus Tullius Cicero. He's the master of emotion manipulation, I guess. He's the best fucking lawyer ever. Well, at least one of the most famous.
See, I don't know why. Like, I totally understand that because I love to win debates, but I also think that it's way better to not go into a debate wanting to win and just questioning it all for a better understanding, in a sense. You know, like, I don't know. I find it's untruthful because if you use emotion manipulation to win debates, then you're never actually getting to the true truth of the subject, right?
No, but that's not the fucking point.
You're trying to mold the truth to what you already have.
Well, that's exactly what it is. You can't. Like, in the real
It's using
world,
FE in a more unproductive way, I think.
no, but like in the real world, things are not how they should be. They are how they. Well,
That's an emotional statement.
What I learned in politics, when I was deep into it, it was shit ain't how it actually is. It's how it seems, right?
Mm.
And that's also a reason why you.
But it's untruthful. It's dishonest.
Yeah, that's an untruthful statement because it'll be how it actually is when the seemingness of it can't be supported any longer.
I just think that the understanding is dishonest. Like, if you're not questioning at all, right? If you take this position and say, I don't want people to, I'm going to use emotional manipulation in order to win. If you're trying to win, then you can't actually get the reverse questioning of your own position.
The thing is, a debate is not for the participants. It's for the crowd.
I think it should be about more free thought, and I think that emotional manipulation is limiting the free thought because you're trying to limit the other person's free thought by controlling them.
So it's like you switched it to like the debate. It's like you were saying the debate's you're saying the debate's not about the participants. Yeah, I'm saying fuck debate then.
Yeah, I like more conversation than debate. I like debating because it's fun and it
like
gets
if that's
I don't like necessarily winning. I love winning, but like
debate to win, but you conversate to explore.
Yeah, but I feel like using emotional manipulation is constricting other people. You know, like if I was good at emotional manipulation and I totally diverted the debate in order to win, I would never like get to the full questioning of the actual topic. You know what I mean? Like I would be trying to make my point correct.
At all costs to win. The point is to make your point. You've already got a point. You're like, we're not debating this point. I'm not arguing this point. Or I'm not questioning this point. I've already established it. And your point is to convey that point is the best point via dressing it up and making it more palatable.
But what I found is that when I've debated people, right, and I've picked a position to debate, and I've gotten really good at that position because I found the emotional ways. Like I like Christopher Hitchens, and I found that a lot of his emotional, like how he attacks emotions in a way, it really gets points done. It really goes into people's hearts, you know. And so I was using that a lot. And I found that you can stick with positions and get lost in positions that aren't necessarily true, and you don't understand they're not true because you don't get the reverse questioning side because you're so good at manipulating the emotions, you always win, you know. But if you don't try to win, you might actually learn another possibility, you know, instead of getting like totally trapped in this whole, like, I'm so good at debating this, I'm going to keep doing this thing constantly because, you know, it's great, you know, it's fun, I love it too. But I found that I learn more if I don't do that. If I don't
picking the points that you're actually going to debate. Like I do that. Like that's probably one of the reasons I don't pop into debate as much as I could or want to. Because I like to pick. I try to be pretty discerning about which things I'm going to actually debate.
Yeah.
Pick your battles.
And so it's not an issue of debate, you know, being a bad thing. I'm going to make it clear. I'm not, you know, trying to label it as that. It's I'm not even going to say an issue of balance, and it's an issue of need. If there's a need or even a desire to conversate rather than debate, then by all means meet the need for conversation. However, I will not label debate as, oh, that's a bad thing, because it reveals its own information. It unveils and utilizes its own information that you can use in other ways that is different from conversating. In conversation, I kind of feel like the difference between debate and conversation is in a lot of ways
A discussion.
volatility. What was that?
A discussion. Isn't that
Yeah, but people aren't trying to win.
no? But
Right.
a discussion is more of an exchange of ideas than a debate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah,
debates get a lot done, but
There's
I'm
a time. There's a time for peace and there's a time for war. Basically, right then is it's like with the debate aspect. It's like sometimes just butting heads is healthy.
See,
I mean, like,
I always love debate. I just think that if you use, since I don't see emotions as logical, and I'm trying to get the debate to a productive sense. You have to pick a point in order to win. So I'll pick a point even if I don't agree with it, just to get the free thought out there. But if I start trying to win and using emotions to win, then I feel like it's very dishonest. That's why I don't like it, because I feel like if I'm just using emotions to win, then I'm never actually winning off of logic. And that's what if I lose off of logic, then I learn something, which is great. And if I win off of logic, then I feel super good. If I went off of feelings, I feel super good. But if, I never learn anything because I'm just doing it illogically, or dishonestly.
I think there's a halfway point where you can, dip your logic in chocolate FE sometimes to kind of grease the wheels, but without really losing the lot. You just kind of like, basically to keep from hitting FI. You're like, if you put a little chocolate in there, sometimes you run into FI and don't get caught on those reefs as much.
Yeah.
I think that's why establishing beforehand, okay, are we conversating or are we debating, can help so that you're not having to interchange those so much to where you don't find yourself in an awkward position of trying to basically sugarcoat your logic or trying to slip shit in or something like that, or be like...
Well, I was going to say, I think there's an interesting kind of in-between state, because I think pure conversation or whatever is kind of a untethered, typically same directional seat. All the participants are moving towards that, are exploring and moving towards that understanding, or that's the intent. And then debate, two people are more or less static, or you got static points, and they're just kind of like firing shots at each other. And then there's an in-between where you've got kind of one thing pinned down or being proposed, and then another, which tends to look a lot more like a debate, but it's kind of somewhere in between. Like the point is exploration, but it ends up functionally looking and feeling a lot more like a debate.
Yeah.
Because it's a combative, pointing out logical inconsistencies sort of thing, rather than developing ideas. It's that, yeah. But anyway, yeah.
No, for sure. I think my favorite form of debate is just to hear what somebody says, and like if I want to understand more about why they think that's true, then I just pick the opposite side and keep questioning it. And if it holds any validity, then it won't unravel. And if you keep questioning it and it doesn't hold validity, it will unravel.
Yeah, I really like to be
That's
able
why
to
I like
question.
debate.
I think that middle part is my favorite. Well, I love the pure exploration, but then I also really like it when someone starts proposing things and I start picking holes in it, because I find that my NE like kicks into gear and I start seeing more and more and understanding it better. And if the other person's like game, they do too. And I had a nice one of those with Tiff like a couple of days ago. Well, it was right after the big Eric and Jacob Rao. Like me and Tiff had a very civilized exploratory debate, and it was like, oh, this is so much more useful.
Yeah, that's why I've liked to calm down myself. I used to be a lot more brash, but like I found that it's way more useful in knowledge if you don't always just go straight for attacking people's feelings, and getting that.
Yeah. I don't even
I like
remember
to
what
just-
we were talking.
Yeah, right. Just whatever, debating.
Yeah.
I like to Socrates the shit out of things and not just try to be completely objective on one position.
Yeah.
It is a logical fallacy, and that's why I don't like to use it to win, because it's using fallacies to win, and it's like
Yeah, I don't like using fallacies.
just because you can be good at it and do it doesn't mean you're going to learn anything from it or win in an honest manner. And I like to win in honesty. I like to, I don't know. I understand that. I like the aspect of finding the loopholes and weighing and all that. But when it comes to true logical thought, like the true thought of it all, especially like more philosophy stuff, I want to hear everybody